What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So, I get tired of the disrespect towards Carmelo Anthony, partly because people think they can talk about something when they know absolutely nothing and they don't watch him play. Now, I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith doesn't watch him play, but there's been years, for the past few years, he's declared he's not watching Knicks games anymore. Now, you don't know, ESPN literally just came out and said that Stephen A. Smith declares Carmelo Anthony on Pelicans would be a complete disaster. You want to know what's a disaster? The New York Knicks. Any situation out of New York for Carmelo Anthony, a player of his caliber, is better than the Knicks. Now, you want to talk about a disaster. Let's talk about how Carmelo Anthony plays. Now, Melo's no longer athletic. But like I said, just like Kobe, Melo does not need to rely on athleticism. That's why he's going to outlast everyone from the 03 draft. He's already outlasted D. Wade and Bosh. The only one in his way now in terms of outlasting the 03 draft is LeBron James. Now, I'm not saying Melo's better than LeBron because he's not. But in terms of outlasting and still playing at a high level, I think Melo will. But that's not the point of this video. The point is that Carmelo Anthony, although he may not want to go to New Orleans, that may not be his number one destination, but for you to sit there and say it would be a complete disaster is complete malarkey. It's complete nonsense. Carmelo Anthony to the Pelicans would be the greatest thing to ever happen to New Orleans. Because if you look at the Pelicans, they have possibly the greatest front court in NBA history. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins both not even at the peak of their prime yet, but at the midst of the peak of their prime. Both averaging 30. You have 60 right there. Then you have Melo giving you 25. That's 85. Then you have Drew Holiday giving you 15. That's 100. From 4 players. Now, here's why it's good. It's good for Melo. He has young, fresh legs. Take some pressure off his shoulders. Look, Melo, we only need you in crunch time. We need you to show up big moments like he did. If you're clutchest player since 2003 statistically, you don't believe me, go rewatch the 2016-17 NBA season because Melo in his, 14th, 15th season still was clutcher than anyone else in the league. I mean, did you see what he was doing against Atlanta? Did you see the game winners against Philly? I mean, come on. Let's be real for a second, okay? Carmelo Anthony on the Pelicans, Stephen A. Smith, would be a complete dominance in the NBA, and here's why. DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis, they're not even at the peak of their prime yet. Both are giving you 60 points per game combined. Young bloods need to learn how to compose themselves. Now, I know people can say, how is Melo going to teach them how to win if he never made it out of any conference, okay? But here's the thing people don't understand. When Melo came into the league, the Denver Nuggets were not even in playoff contention. Melo comes around, and you know what happens? They make the playoffs, and he doesn't miss the playoffs until a certain person comes to a certain organization by the name of Phil Jackson and by the name of the New York Knicks. But then when you look at Carmelo Anthony, he turned the team around by 25 wins, went to the conference finals. I mean, come on. Here's something that a lot of people are misunderstanding. When you have 2 dominant big men like that, now, obviously they can bring the ball up by themselves. But it's not even just in terms of, them being able to bring it up because Drew Holiday can bring it up. I don't even know if Drew Holiday is still on that team, but I think he is. And if they're not, whatever. Melo could bring it up, or whoever else can bring it up. But you have that dominant front court, which means you're going to be secure on rebounding. Your defense is going to be locked tight. The only way teams are going to be able to beat you is on the perimeter. But then you have Drew Holiday, if he's still there, which I'm pretty sure he is. I'm just kidding. I know he's still there. You have Drew Holiday, who can play pretty decent defense. He can score. He's a great passer, smart on the basketball court. He was an all-star for a reason back in his Philadelphia days, 76ers, that is. Now, you have Drew Holiday, DeMarcus, and Anthony Davis, that is. And then if you include Melo, that's 100 points in offense right there. Now, you don't have to worry about Melo playing the 4 spot. Melo can play the 3 spot. Melo was going head-to-head with the elites in his 15th year in the NBA. Go look at Melo face up against Kawhi this year. We're talking about Kawhi. Like, when you want to talk about elite, Kawhi is at the top. Okay, he went head to head with LeBron, with Kevin Durant. He went head to head with the elites, even though he's quote unquote slow, he's a bum, and this and that. Whatever, people. Melo still has it. Here's the thing: they don't have to play fast paced, okay? And the majority of the time, they're not going to play run and gun because their personnel and their arsenal is not equipped to play run and gun offense. Think about it. They're not. They're half-court set type offense because think about it. You have Drew Holiday. He's a decent shooter. He's not a Stephen Curry. He's not a Russell Westbrook who's going to explode to the basket on a fast break. He's not a James Harden who's going to dance on you and then pull up and get an and one from the three-point line, also known as a 4-point play. You got Anthony and DeMarcus that can adapt and play run and gun, and then they could also play at the half-court set. They're big men. They post up. And when you get in the playoffs, you want to talk about being able to stop the Warriors? If the Pelicans got Carmelo, what the hell would the Warriors be able to do? How? Look, Draymond Green's an excellent player, a great defender. How the hell are the Golden State Warriors going to be able to stop the front court of the Pelicans? And then you have Melo giving you 25, and you have Drew Holiday giving you 15. How is that going to be possible? The only way how is Kevin Durant's going to have to average 40, and Stephen Curry's also going to have to average 40, which probably it can happen because they both can do that with their eyes closed, but it won't happen. It's not going to happen. If the New Orleans Pelicans got Carmelo Anthony and they didn't have to give up Drew Holiday, Stephen A. Smith, this team right here would beat the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. It probably wouldn't even take 7 games because you're talking about 3 NBA superstars on the same team. 2 of them who average 30 in their sleep and they're completely unguardable. Oh, and get this. They're all friends. No chemistry issues. They played in the Olympics together. They played on Team USA together. They're all good friends. Not best friends. They're not the banana boat crew. But they're all good friends. How would this not work? So it's not like the chemistry won't be there right away because the chemistry is going to be there. Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Carmelo Anthony, Drew Holiday, all-star players. 4 all-stars right there. Now, Drew Holiday may not be an all-star still. I mean, every NBA player could be an all-star. It's all dependent on your role. Anyway, I think it could work. Spot-up shooting, threes, play the slow, half-paced game. They would definitely beat the Golden State Warriors without question.